Welcome back to Coins Numismatic Series, the channel where history is struck in metal, and every coin tells a story. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating areas of modern British coinage, the 5p coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II. In this episode, we're uncovering the top 3 5p coins of Elizabeth II, coins that stand out not just for their designs, but for their historical importance, their rarity, and the intrigue they carry in the numismatic world. So, sit back, grab your collector's loupe, and let's journey into the legacy of the 5p. 5p Elizabeth II 1979. The year was 1979, a time of transition in Britain. Inflation, economic change, and political shifts were shaping the United Kingdom. Yet amid these larger historical currents, the small but significant 5p coin was playing its role in everyday life, and in the hearts of collectors, it was cementing its place in numismatic history. The 1979 5p Elizabeth II represents the second decade of the decimal system, which was first introduced in 1971. Decimalization had replaced centuries of traditional British currency based on pounds, shillings, and pence with a modern, simplified structure. The 5p coin, equivalent to the old shilling, carried on the size and role of its pre-decimal ancestor, making it both familiar and revolutionary at the same time. Historical context. By 1979, decimal coins had become fully integrated into British daily commerce. The 5p coin, first introduced in 1968 even before full decimalization, was an essential denomination. It held considerable purchasing power compared to today and was used widely in vending machines, bus fares, and shops. This was also a year marked by political transition, with Margaret Thatcher becoming the UK's first female Prime Minister. The coin therefore sits at a crossroads in history, symbolizing both continuity in currency design and transformation in the broader national landscape. Design features. The obverse of the 1979 5p displays the iconic second portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin. This effigy, introduced in 1968, shows a youthful queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a piece originally given to Queen Mary as a wedding present in 1893. This portrait is one of the most recognizable in British coinage and was used for over 2 decades. The reverse of the coin features the crown thistle, a design by Christopher Ironside. The thistle, the national emblem of Scotland, is topped by the royal crown, symbolizing unity under the monarchy. The design is bold yet elegant, perfectly suited to the relatively small size of the coin. Mintage. The mintage of the 1979 5p was vast, with over 181 million coins struck for circulation. This means the coin is not rare in absolute terms. However, what makes it fascinating to collectors is the survival of examples in pristine, uncirculated condition, as well as the few error coins that escape the mint's strict quality controls. Errors and varieties. Collectors always keep a sharp eye out for minting errors, and the 1979 issue has a few intriguing varieties. Misstrikes where the design is off-center. Die rotation errors, where the obverse and reverse are misaligned. A handful of coins where the details of the thistle are weak due to die wear. Though these errors are scarce, they can significantly increase a coin's value depending on condition and visibility of the error. Market value. In circulated condition, the 1979 5p typically holds minimal premium over face value. However, in brilliant uncirculated condition, or as part of proof sets, the coin can fetch between £2 and £10. Error coins, particularly dramatic ones, can reach £50 or more at auction, especially when authenticated by third-party grading services. Collector interest. The 1979 issue appeals strongly to collectors who focus on building complete date runs of decimal coinage. It's also a coin that sparks nostalgia, reminding many of the everyday spending habits of late 1970s Britain. For younger collectors, it provides an affordable entry point into numismatics, while seasoned enthusiasts appreciate it for the historical context and subtle design details. Ultimately, the 1979 5p Elizabeth II is not a rare coin, but it is a historically rich coin, a bridge between the old shilling and the modern era of decimal currency, making it a must-have for any serious collection. 5p Elizabeth II 1990. Fast forward to 1990, and the 5p was undergoing one of its most important transformations in modern history. This year marked the withdrawal of the original large-size 5p coin and the introduction of the smaller, more practical version we use today. The 1995 Pence Elizabeth II is therefore one of the most significant issues in the entire decimal series. Historical context. By the late 1980s, the large-size 5-pence coin, introduced in 1968, had become cumbersome. Its dimensions were identical to the old shilling, which meant it was significantly larger than its value justified. The coin had become too big for the decimal system's balance, particularly when compared to smaller denominations like the 1p and 2p. In 1990, the Royal Mint made the bold decision to reduce the size of the 5-pence coin, introducing a version more suited to modern life and currency handling systems. The large coin was demonetized in 1990, with the new small 5-pence officially entering circulation on June 27, 1990. Design features. The 1995 pence retained Christopher Ironside's crown thistle reverse design, maintaining continuity and recognition. However, the coin's smaller flan made the design appear sharper and more compact, with finer detailing. The obverse bore the third portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Raphael Maclauff. This portrait, introduced in 1985, shows the Queen wearing the royal diadem, with a more formal and regal appearance compared to Arnold Machin's earlier effigy. Maclauff's design was intended to give the Queen a timeless dignity, and it remained in use until 1997. Mintage. The mintage of the 1990 small 5-pence was approximately 1.6 billion coins, a staggering number that reflects the complete replacement of the larger version. Despite this vast output, the coin remains iconic because of its role as the first of the new size, making it historically desirable even if not rare. Errors and varieties. A handful of error coins exist from this transitional year, including misstrikes where the smaller blank planchets were not perfectly aligned, weak strikes due to the adjustment of dies for the new size, a few extremely rare mule coins, though these are hotly debated and seldom verified. Collectors place a premium on such error pieces, given the historical significance of the year. Market value. In circulation, the 1995 pence carries little above its face value. However, uncirculated and proof versions are highly collectible, with values ranging from £5 to £20 depending on condition. Proof examples in official Royal Mint sets can fetch even higher prices. Error coins, again, can climb well into the £100 to £200 range, though these require authentication. Collector interest. For collectors, the 1995 pence is an absolute milestone coin. It marks the transition from the large-size decimal coins of the 1960s to the modern, pocket-friendly coins we know today. Every serious collector of Elizabeth II decimal coinage views the 1995 pence as essential, not for rarity but for historical turning point value. It also appeals to nostalgic collectors who remember the withdrawal of the larger coin and the excitement, or frustration, of adjusting to the new size. In short, the 1990 issue stands as a true cornerstone in modern British coinage history. 5 pence Elizabeth II 1968. Now we travel back to where it all began, 1968, the very first year of the 5 pence coin. This is the pioneer issue, the coin that introduced the denomination to Britain, paving the way for the decimal revolution. Historical context. The UK's transition to decimal currency was one of the most significant monetary changes in modern history. The old system, based on 12 pence to the shilling and 20 shillings to the pound, had become increasingly impractical in a modernizing world. In preparation for decimalization, the Royal Mint began issuing decimal coins years before full changeover day in 1971. The 1968 5 pence was revolutionary. It was equivalent to the old shilling, and importantly, it was the first decimal coin to circulate alongside pre-decimal currency. For 3 years, from 1968 to 1971, the coin lived a dual life, bridging the old and the new systems. Design features. The obverse of the 1968 5 pence features the second portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin. This effigy, already discussed with the 1979 coin, portrays the Queen with youthful grace, wearing the famous tiara. The reverse introduces Christopher Ironside's bold crown thistle design, which became the enduring symbol of the 5 pence for over 2 decades. The thistle, long a symbol of Scottish pride, gave the new decimal coinage a strong sense of tradition, even amid modernization. At 23.59 mm in diameter and weighing 5.65 grams, the coin was identical in size and weight to the old shilling. This was a deliberate decision to aid the public in transitioning to decimal money without confusion. Mintage. The 1968 issue had a mintage of over 98 million coins, a large number for a first issue. However, its historical role as the first decimal coin elevates its importance well beyond simple rarity statistics. Errors and varieties. The 1968 5 pence has been known to appear with several interesting errors, including double strikes, where the coin was struck twice by the dies, off-center strikes, leading to partially missing designs, weak strikes, often caused by worn dies during this inaugural production year. Such errors are very collectible, and because the 1968 coin is already desirable, errors often achieve strong premiums. Market value. In average circulated condition, the 1968 5 pence is still relatively common and affordable. Prices range from 50 pence to £2 depending on grade. However, in uncirculated or proof condition, the coin becomes much more valuable, often selling for £15 to £50, especially when graded or found in original mint packaging. Rare errors, as mentioned, can reach £100 or more, depending on their visibility and severity. Collector interest. For collectors, the 1968 5 pence is a historic cornerstone. It is the coin that ushered in the decimal age, a tangible piece of Britain's monetary revolution. Its dual role as both a decimal coin and a continuation of the shilling gives it a special place in numismatic history. Every collector of British coins, whether focused on Elizabeth II, decimal issues, or modern history, views the 1968 5 pence as essential. It is not just a coin, but a symbol of change, a marker of Britain stepping into the modern age while carrying its traditions forward. And there you have it, the top 3 5 pence coins of Queen Elizabeth II, the groundbreaking 1968 issue, the transitional 1979 coin, and the transformative 1990 small 5 pence. Each of these coins tells a unique story of history, design, and everyday life in Britain. From the birth of decimalization, through its maturity, to its modernization, the 5 pence series captures a fascinating chapter of the Elizabethan era. So next time you come across a humble 5 pence, take a moment to look closer. You might just be holding a small but mighty piece of history.